And Eric, does your organization, just to be clear, believe that there should be any limits in the amount of ammunition that a person is allowed to carry?
Again, the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So no, there shouldn't be restrictions. And if somebody is a dangerous person, then honestly, they shouldn't be out on the street, because once they are out on the street, you will never prevent them from getting their hands on some type of weapon. So it becomes a justice, an issue of our court system if we keep putting bad people back out onto the streets. But law-abiding people shouldn't be restricted any more than, just like, it's been said under the First Amendment, you can't yell fire in a crowded theater when there is no fire. And yet, we don't gag people when they go into the theater, right? We don't do that to prevent them from yelling fire. No, what do? If they yell fire when there's no fire, they get punished for that. Well, that's the way it should be under the Second Amendment as well. Constitutional carry, where you don't even have to get a permit. You can carry as a matter of right, protected by the Second Amendment, as long as you're not a bad guy. And there's 29 of those states.
And who decides if you're a bad guy? So there's no background check at all on that?
That's right. Well, look at it this way. Criminals
so you decide yourself if you're a good guy or a bad guy?
Well, I think criminals know if they have a record. And by the way, they don't care about permitting process. They carry anyway. That's what bad guys do. They don't care about the laws. So this was saying, you know what, we're not going to punish good people because of what bad people are doing. I mean, imagine being told you can't drive a car because there's some people who drive drunk, or, we're going to make you, a law-abiding citizen, blow into, a device that will then only allow your car to run, and that's because there's those bad people out there that drive drunk. Those 29 states are saying it is your right. It is your God-given right to protect yourself, and so we're not going to put hurdles. And if you use your gun in a crime, then, you're like any other criminal now, and they will treat you accordingly and hopefully take you off the street. In most states, there's actually far fewer restrictions on car ownership and use than on firearms. I have a license in Virginia. I can drive anywhere in the country. I can't do that with my concealed carry permit. I have a son who bought a car before he was even old enough to drive. He can't do that with firearms. And I could go on and on with, some states have fingerprinting. Almost every state has background checks. Certainly to buy a firearm in this country, you go into a gun store, you go through a background check. I don't ever remember going through a background check to purchase a car. The differences are myriad, but we believe the Second Amendment says, again, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So to that point, I would take issue with all those restrictions that you just laid out. Those shouldn't even exist. Well, if we were going to do that, then I suppose we should just go back to quill pens and parchment, because that was the technology that they had during that day.
But a pen and a parchment can't kill you. A gun can. So the idea that the Founding Fathers didn't even consider the power of assault rifles, and that they weren't really thinking that common citizens would have access to that and everybody would have access to that. What do you say to that specifically?
Two things. First of all, they did have repeating firearms at that time already, number one. Number two, even the muskets, if that's what you're saying you want to limit us to, guess what? Those were weapons of war. That was the modern technology. And so really, just as the First Amendment protects the freedom of speech in however the technology evolves, that should also apply to the Second Amendment. So that, if the Second Amendment is going to be a defense against tyranny, it's not really a good defense if the people have muskets and the government has fully automatic weapons.
And Daryl, can you tell us a little bit about the guns and that you own? How many? Do you want to share that?
You can tell that you're not a gun owner. We don't talk about things like that just for situations like that. That's the where in where they can knock on your door.
Is that
and come and
is that right, Erich Pratt? Is that like an inappropriate question to a gun
He's
owner?
spot on. Yeah.
Okay, I take it back. Sorry.